Hello everyone and welcome. In this video I will be connecting a Shelly humidity and temperature sensor, a battery operated, to my Magic Mirror. So welcome and hope you enjoy. The device I will be using is a Shelly device. It's for temperature and humidity. And it's a simple and quite inexpensive device. And as all Shelly devices, it has extensive REST API, so that's why I want to use it. It operates with Wi-Fi, and since this is a battery operated device, that becomes a bit special because it will not be able to be always on, always connected to the Wi-Fi. That simply takes too much energy. So instead, this device wakes up typically every 12 hours or when something changes. So we will need to set it up in a bit different way. We can't just poll the status. We will need to set up a webhook back to the Magic Mirror. So that's what I will be doing now. In the Shelly documentation, you can find all the information about all the Shelly devices and what you can do with them. It's a quite extensive API, so just find your device and find out what you can do with it. And there's a lot of commands and there are many different ways of accessing. It's not only REST APIs, it supports a lot of different protocols as well. Let's take a look at the configuration of the device. So I will be using the web interface, but of course you can configure everything on your phone app as well. It's the same settings. And the Shelly devices have quite an extensive ways of configuring it. There are a lot of settings. You need to configure the Wi-Fi, and that needs to be configured through the. Just want to wake up the device. There is a small button on the device to wake it up. So let's see it wakes up. There we go. And of course you need to set up the Wi-Fi first, and that's best done with the app in your phone. You can even set up a backup Wi-Fi network if you want. And you can go through the different settings. There's a lot of them. What I will be looking at primarily now is, first of all, I need to set up the webhook or the callback from the Shelly device. So under actions, we can set up report sensor values. And here we want to put in the IP address, in this case of the Magic Mirror or whatever other device you have that can receive the webhook. So in my case, I will put this in. And I will simply call the page Shelly, edit, and save it. Remember, if you do this in the app, it's actually not saved directly to the Shelly device. It's saved when it wakes up. So if you do it from your phone app or from your or from the web, you need to make sure that your device is woken. So you can push the button on the device to do that. So what this will do is that it will report the sensor values to my Magic Mirror on the page Shelly, and we will set that up later. But I also want to do another thing here, and that's on the sensor settings. Because since it's only waking up automatically every 12 hours, I want it to wake up if things happen as well. And this we can do with the thresholds. So in this case, If the temperature changes more than 2 degrees, it will wake up and send the status information to my magic mirror. And in the same way, I want the humidity to also enable wake up, and whenever the value changes more than 2 units, 2%, it will wake up. So this will make the update to the magic mirror good, I think. It doesn't need to be updated all the time, especially if the values doesn't change. So I'm happy with that, and I will save that and continue. What we can do is also check the status of the device. And this is in fact the call that you can make if it's awaken as well to get the complete status. So now I know it's awake, and let's see, then we get the JSON back, and it has the information that I need. Maybe I'm interested in the battery status 100%, and I'm definitely interested in the humidity and in the temperature. So those values we can grab from the status as well. This will in fact be reported on the callback parameters as well. So, but we will get into that when we look at the Python coding. So I have opened up my demo Python project on the Magic Mirror. And if you haven't watched my earlier videos about how to get started with the Magic Mirror, Raspberry Pi, coding, and so on, please go back and have a look at that, because I'm talking about the structure of it and all the setup needed before we're up and running. So, but if you have seen that, you will be familiar with my way of doing this and the way of coding. And really my idea is to be quite on a low level, meaning that I will not use any ready-made APIs, any ready-made modules or libraries or anything. I'm using standard Python coding and trying to communicate with my devices on a very low level. So this one will not be too complicated. The only thing we need to do actually is set up a web page on the Magic Mirror that will receive the callback from the device. And the way that we do that is in the same way as we have done with other pages here. We'll just uncomment the code here. Here you can see that the page that will be called from my device is /Shelly. It will be a get method, or a REST API get method. That also means that my values will come in the header parameters. So the first thing I want to do is to retrieve the header values. In this scenario, we can have a look at what we actually get back. I will set a breakpoint for you here and then start the code. I press the button on the Shelly device, and that means it's waking up. And now you can see that I got in here. And if we have a look at what we are receiving, we can see that it returns the header values for humidity, temperature, and the ID of the Shelly device. So that's good. That's good to know. And I will be using the humidity and temperature, and then we will see how we can get additional information as well. So I will stop it. So I will store the return values for humidity and temperature. But then I really would like to have my battery as well, so I can check if it's getting low on battery. and that's not included in the parameters in the header. So what I will do is that I will call the Shelly device because it stays awake for a few seconds after it has triggered a wake up. And that means that directly after this, I can poll it for the status, and that will return the complete JSON that we saw before, including the battery values. And then I can store that as well. And of course, I want to keep control of the device, making sure that it's reporting on a regular basis. So for that reason, I will also store the current date and time when it was last reporting. And then we will just return OK to the Shelly device. So if I didn't say it, I'm using the Flask web server library for Python on a Raspberry Pi 4. And I always set up the data that I retrieve from different devices on an index page that I can use for debugging. So this would be the first thing that I do. I will uncomment this part. And then you can see that on my index page, I have a couple of other Shelly devices. So here I want to show the humidity, the battery, and of course the time and the temperature. So let's have a look at the index page. So a lot of values here. So we scroll down, we have the Shelly information here, and some other Shelly devices reporting. And if I click on my the button on the Shelly device, it hopefully should wake up and report back to me. Yeah, here it comes. So we have the battery 100%, humidity 42, temperature, and then the last time it was reported. I've added a timer as well so I can keep track of how long time ago it was last reported. So if anything fails, I want to highlight that. So that was the index page working fine. Next thing I want to do is that I want to, of course, use these signals. And in this case, I will actually only use the humidity, and I will use it for monitoring the humidity in my workshop. I don't like when the humidity is too high, since it's a wood workshop. So I want to keep it below 70. I will not show the values on the main screen on the Magic Mirror, but I want to trigger an alarm that helps me to keep track of it. So let's see if I will change the value here just to show you the alarm. So let's say that humidity above 40 will trigger an alarm. And this is something that will, of course, only show if it's above this value. We start code. Here we can see the humidity is 44%. If I go to the main page of the Magic Mirror, we can see at the top here, humidity in the server is workshop here, 44%. So that's actually what I want to have.